Keir Starmer's destroying this country, absolutely destroying it. The Labour government should never ever get in power again after this.
Keir Starmer left speechless after Tommy Robinson's bold statement on Britain's direction. You're not going to believe what just happened. In a week already filled with political fireworks, this moment might just top them all. Tommy Robinson, one of Britain's most controversial voices, has just made a statement so bold, so direct, that even Keir Starmer was caught off guard. It wasn't shouted, it wasn't scripted, it was raw, emotional, and brutally straightforward. And when the words landed, the room fell silent. Here's what went down. During a live-stream discussion earlier this week, one that started out as a conversation about Britain's changing identity, Tommy Robinson took the debate to an entirely different level. He didn't attack individuals directly. Instead, he painted a broader picture, a reflection of frustration that many people in working-class communities have been feeling for years. He said, "The country doesn't feel like it used to. People feel ignored, left behind, and punished for speaking their minds. And politicians, they talk about unity, but they've stopped listening." That one comment changed everything. Because while most politicians dance around difficult topics, Robinson didn't. He said what many would never dare to say out loud, and that's exactly why it hit so hard. When asked specifically about Keir Starmer's leadership, Robinson didn't go for personal attacks, he went for a reality check. He claimed that Britain is losing its voice, and that under current leadership, honest debate has been replaced by managed silence. Now, whether you agree with him or not, those words echoed across the internet. Clips of the moment started circulating on X, TikTok, and YouTube within minutes. And soon enough, the Prime Minister's name was trending again. Inside Westminster, reactions were swift and divided. One senior Labour insider reportedly told The Guardian, "Starmer knows this narrative is dangerous. The idea that he's out of touch or afraid of open debate, that's exactly what his opponents are trying to cement in the public's mind." Meanwhile, political commentators on both sides started dissecting Robinson's remarks. Some called it populism. Others said it was long overdue honesty. But what no one denied was the emotional impact. Because here's the truth, the public is frustrated. From rising costs of living to endless debates about migration, housing, and freedom of speech, Britain feels like a country that's arguing with itself. And when someone, no matter how controversial, speaks plainly, people listen. Even if they don't agree, they listen. That's what made this moment so powerful. Robinson's words weren't just about policy. They were about belonging, about loss, about the kind of Britain people remember and fear they're losing. Let's be clear, Keir Starmer isn't new to criticism. He's faced countless challenges since taking office, from managing inflation and rebuilding trust after years of political fatigue, to redefining Labour's identity in a divided nation. But this time, it wasn't another politician or journalist questioning him. It was someone outside the system, someone who speaks directly to the public mood. And that's what rattled Westminster. Because political leaders know, when conversations move from Parliament to the people, control slips away. On social media, the reaction was explosive. One user wrote, "Tommy just said what half the country thinks but is too scared to admit." Another replied, "This isn't bravery, it's bait. He's trying to provoke, and Starmer knows it." Even neutral commentators joined in, calling it a wake-up call for the political elite. It's rare that one unscripted comment causes such waves, but it happened because it touched the nation's most sensitive nerve, the feeling of being silenced. Now, to understand why this moment matters, you have to look at the bigger picture. Britain is at a crossroads culturally, politically, socially. Conversations about national identity, freedom of expression, and trust in leadership have never been more intense. For Starmer, who has tried to position himself as a calm, unifying leader, this kind of emotional storm is tricky to navigate. He can't ignore it, but he also can't engage with it directly without amplifying it. So far, he's stayed silent. But silence, in politics, speaks volumes. Behind the scenes, advisors are reportedly urging Starmer to stay above the noise. To focus on stability, on policy, on results, not on controversy. But that strategy comes with risk. Because for many people, silence from leadership feels like distance. And distance breeds frustration. It's the same pattern we've seen play out in politics around the world. The louder the public's emotions, the quieter official voices become. And that gap, that's where figures like Robinson step in. One political analyst summed it up perfectly. Tommy Robinson isn't winning over Parliament. He's winning over attention. And in 2025, attention is the real currency of power. And that's exactly it. This wasn't about a political win or loss. It was about who controls the national conversation. Because if the government doesn't fill that emotional space, someone else will. So what does this mean for Keir Starmer? Right now, he's facing a challenge that goes beyond polls or party politics. It's about perception, about whether he's truly in touch with the people he leads. Robinson's comments, whether you love or loathe them, struck a nerve. And the fact that they caused such a reaction says everything about the public mood. People are angry. People are tired. And they're desperate for anyone to say what feels unsayable. In the end, maybe that's why this moment matters so much. Not because Tommy Robinson revealed some hidden truth, but because he revealed something far more real, a country that's lost faith in its conversation with itself. And that's something no prime minister can afford to ignore. So as the debate rages on, one question remains. If this was just one moment, one comment, how much deeper does the silence really go?